In this video, I'm going to show you how you can configure Phantom RP. Configuring Phantom RP is very easy, and all you need to do is to have a correct subnetting for the interfaces that you are going to use for RP. I'm configuring this in data center fabric, but you can configure it in LAN or even WAN. The configuration requires loopback interfaces on this and on this. Both of them are going to have the same IP address. Let's say that I'm going to use IP address of 1111 on this one and the same, of course, on the other one. So the thing is, you're going to use a different IP address for the RP. My RP is going to be 1112. This address does not exist neither on S1 nor on S2. So this is why we call it Phantom RP, because we are using an RP address that does not really exist, but based on the mask that we assign to the loopback interfaces, this is going to be reachable. So what I'm trying to do is to do this. I'm saying that we need two IP addresses here. So /30 is going to be good here, because this is going to give us 4 IP addresses, 2 of them usable, which are going to be 1 and 2. So this is going to match with this mask here. On the other side, I'm going to use a less specific mask. So let's say 29. So 1112 belongs to these two networks, but this does not exist here. And then I'm going to configure RP with this. I'm using send announcement with this IP address here. So the configuration is super simple. In my configuration, I already have configured PIM. So I have PIM neighborship. So if I just go to one of the leaves, for example, and I say show IP PIM neighbors, you can see that I have 2 neighbors. Each one of these leaf switches has 2 neighbors. And what I need to do is to go to spine 1 and 2 and configure the interface. So I'm going to say configuration mode, interface loopback 1. IP address is going to be 1111/30. I'm going to advertise it. In my network, I have OSPF. So I'm going to say IP router OSPF 1 area 0. If you are on iOS, then IP OSPF 1 area 0. And also I need to configure PIM on that. So I'm going to say IP PIM sparse mode. One thing that you should be very careful about is this. You are using a /30 and you are advertising with OSPF. Because this is a loopback interface, OSPF is going to advertise this with /32. So what I need to do is to change it to point-to-point network. So I would say IP OSPF network type is going to be point-to-point. So this is the configuration of loopback interface here. In here, I'm going to say show run interface loopback 1. I'm going to copy this to the other side. On the other router or switch, I'm going to create this. Okay, let's say that show IP interface brief. I already have a loopback 0. I don't care about that. This one is important for me. 1111, and it is working just fine. And let's see, show IP route. It says that I have 1111 /30 here. This is installed because this is more specific. But something that I forgot to do here is to change the mask in this configuration. So what I'm going to do is to say instead of /30 on spine 2, I'm going to use /29. So one more time, show IP route. It says that here I have /29, but I have /30 via these 3 spines. On S1, if I say show IP route, I have /20 and a /30. I am connected to /30, but the /29 is available as well. But this is less specific, so whatever I do is going to go to this one. Now that I have done this, what I need to do is to configure PIM. So I'm going to say IP PIM send RP announce. And after that, what I need to do is to specify the RP address. So I'm going to say 111, but not 1, 2. But I know that 1112 does not exist, but this is going to be my Phantom RP. And then I'm going to use some other things, such as group list, which is going to be 224 000/4, and then I'm going to have a scope of 16. I don't need 16 here, as a matter of fact, because I am only one hop away from every other leaf switch or spine switches is going to be just 2 hops away, but I'm going to go with the scope 16 just for the sake of simplicity. And finally, I'm going to have bidirectional enabled because I am in vxlan network. I need bidirectional because each one of these devices can be sender and receiver at the same time. Now I'm going to copy this and I paste it to the other side as well. Also, the other thing that I want to have is IP PIM send RP discovery. So I'm going to assign discovery with loopback 1 and a scope of 16. This one does not really need to have that IP address here. So I'm going to have this, and let's go to leaves and do something. Like I said, if I show you the running configuration of interface, let's say E11, I am using IP sparse mode, PIM sparse mode. If I want to receive the announcement, I have 2 choices. 1, change it to IP sparse dense mode, or 2, I can just use auto RP listener, which I'm going to choose the second one. So for now, if I say show IP PIM RP mappings, it says not is here. But as soon as I say IP PIM auto RP listener, I need to wait for some time before the next announcement. So I'm going to do this on other leaves in between. And here, show IP configure terminal actually, and this. Now if I go back to R1 and say show IP PIM RP mapping, after some time I should see that 1112 is advertised here. Also, if I say show IP route 1112, you can see that it says I have it in my table. So let's see, now we have this. The RP is 1111, the RP source is 1111, the RP is 1112, bidirectional is enabled here, and I have this source. And if I just do this on others, show IP PIM RP mapping, you can see that this is enabled here, and phantom RP is working just fine. Show IP PIM RP mapping. That's it. This is how you configure phantom RP on your routers.